I have grown up watching 2D TV series such as Tom and Jerry and the classic Disney films, which has gained me an interest into 2D animation, so much so that I wouldn't even mind getting a job working as a 2D animator. However, I feel that 3D animation is taking over 2D animation, as people think that 3D animation is very cool and 2D animation is old news. I want to prove this wrong. Meet Trudy, Freddie and Stephanie. Say hi guys.
Hi there.
Hey, how you doing?
They will be explaining what 2D, 3D and stop motion animation is, as well as pointing out one another's strengths and weaknesses. Animation has been a major genre in the film and television industry for many years now, captivating audiences young and old. We aim to discover where the future of animation is heading for all three of these styles. Disney is a main contender in the world of animation. We will be looking at some of the different eras that Disney went through in relation to the change of animation style, and what does the future hold for Disney animation. Every night you probably sit down to watch some good quality TV, which mainly consists of adverts, compared to the show you are actually watching. Have you ever wondered how they were created? John Lewis in particular has had its fair share of different animation styles in recent years, which is the main company we will be looking at. We will also look into stop motion in greater detail and what the future may hold for it. Hopefully from these research methods, we can find out where each style stands for the upcoming years. Technology is still developing, with software updates releasing daily, which is allowing animators to create things which have not been possible before.
Hello, I'm Trudy. 2D animation, what is it? Well, 2D animation is an object, person or word with only width and height dimensions and the motion they take from one point to another. Traditional 2D animation is where it all began. The animator hand drew each individual movement a character or object may take. Animators would draw on a light table which allowed them to refer to their previous drawing when deciding on the next movement. This form of animation is now created on computers using equipment such as Wacom tablets. Cell animation was the next development to traditional 2D hand-drawn animation, where one scene was cut into various layers to give a scene more depth. Different layers such as trees, water features, buildings and the background such as the sky or woods would be placed in multi-layers on top of each other. A camera would then be brought closer to the layers to show the movement through the scene without the pieces moving out of place or growing any larger than they are. 2D animation is commonly used to create cartoons such as The Simpsons or Family Guy. These shows have been airing since the late 90s. Recent episodes have also started to introduce more portions of 3D animation. 2D animation is very similar to 3D animation in terms of rigging. Characters can be created in software such as Adobe Illustrator. They are then taken over to Adobe After Effects, where you can use downloadable plugins such as Duik. This enables the animator to rig their character with human features such as bones. They can then move the character about without having to redraw them over again.
Hello, I'm Freddie. 3D animation, what is it? 3D animation looks at depth alongside height and width, and has a realistic feel compared to 2D animation. 3D characters can be moved from one position to another, with a computer predicting the in-between movements. Pixar and DreamWorks use 3D animation exclusively to create their films. CGI falls under the 3D umbrella and refers to anything realistic created on a computer. 3D is currently the most common form of animation, compared to 20 years ago when 2D animation was the only option.
Hello, I'm Stephanie. What is stop motion animation? Stop motion animation can be both 2D and 3D. To create a stop motion, all you need is a subject and a camera. The animator positions the subject in the starting point and makes small adjustments to the subject while continuously taking photos to show movement. An example of a 2D stop motion piece is the John Lewis Christmas advert of 2013 titled The Bear and the Hare. A 3D piece would be in the form of claymation, such as Wallace and Gromit.
In 1908, the year that 2D animation was born, thanks to Émile Coles, the French animator created the short Phantasmagorie using chalk on a board. The first full-length feature 2D animation was introduced by Walt Disney in 1937, titled Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It was set to be a failure, yet it broke the box office records and led to Walt receiving endless amounts of film awards.
3D animation doesn't quite have a start date like 2D animation, seeing as it originated from stop-motion pieces. However, Ed Catmull created a 3D moving image of his own hand in 1972. He is now the president of Walt Disney and Pixar Animation Studios. The first full-length 3D film was Toy Story, which was released in 1995.
Albert Smith created the first stop-motion piece that dates back to 1898, which was called The Humpty Dumpty Circus. The first full-length stop-motion film was titled El Apostle and was released in 1917.
SpongeBob SquarePants has been running since 1999. New episodes are still being created today in the same way that they were 17 years ago. Other shows such as The Simpsons or Family Guy have also stuck to 2D animation. Due to the budget and length of time that is needed to create complex 3D animations, many television companies rely on 2D animators to produce cartoons for the time being.
Here's something to consider. In 2011, cartoonist Matthew Inman stated that it makes characters and environments more believable.
Even when we look at the big screen, without the technology that produces 3D and CGI elements we have got by, look at Yoda from the original Star Wars series. Producers wanted to use a puppet to perform the role of the Jedi Master, and it performed perfectly well.
I don't get why anyone would want to spend hours creating tedious drawings to show the process of a character moving. Why would anyone want to live in the past and not embrace the future of technology that is sitting right in front of us? Also, it's difficult to find animators with the skills to draw the same character over and over. And computers have greater accuracy.
I agree, it is difficult to repeatedly draw something. However, the accuracy part is not true. Disney's 3D animated film Frozen has multiple mistakes featured throughout. According to animation theorist J.K. Reiki, if there is a mistake in a 2D film, it is deemed acceptable, seeing as someone has sat and drawn that mistake into the film, unlike seeing mistakes in 3D film.
Even stop-motion pieces, such as Wallace and Gromit, show small fingerprints left in filming, which is commonly aesthetically pleasing, seeing as it shows that these are handcrafted pieces.
I guess so. 3D animation is linked to family films such as Shrek and How to Train Your Dragon from DreamWorks, and the Lego Movie from Warner Brothers, and many animations from Disney and Pixar Studios. Speaking of Pixar and DreamWorks, these two studios have been in constant competition over 3D with each other since 1995, something which isn't found with other animation styles.
DreamWorks on average produces more films a year compared to Pixar. However, it's the way that Pixar gets its fans talking about their yearly blockbuster film, which earns them the Oscars. A lot of film companies, as well as TV companies, are now trying to combine different animation styles together.
Such as the popular cartoon TV show Adventure Time, which is 2D based but has touched upon 3D and stop motion in recent episodes. Kirsten Lepore, who helped create the stop motion episode of Adventure Time, explains, "The process is grueling, but the rewards are great." She also explains just the fact that it's a physical thing that an artist made somewhere and there are fingerprints in it is exciting.
Since the turn of the century, stop motion has become very quiet. However, it's slowly finding a new life in the adult world. An example of this is the soon-to-be-released film titled Anomalisa.
Take all the time you need.
Actually, the same technology that is creating you is also being used to create me.
How? I'm pixels. You're clearly not put together well, Clay.
Still using the same computer though.
But something that we all must consider is the theory of motion. Animation only works if you obey the rules of gravity. No matter how much each style can do better than the other, if you do not obey the laws of physics, then the animation simply does not work.
Animation forums such as Animation World Network believe that CGI should not be considered when creating any type of media. They explain that CGI is still in a process of development.
Which is true. Animation as a whole is developing continuously.
Yes, but CGI has been known to deliver late and end up costing more than the original budget predicted.
As it was said, 3D is still developing. Hopefully the budget is something that can be worked on in the future.
Stop motion may have not been given the love or attention quite like 2D and 3D has had up to now. However, we believe that looking into it as a whole will be beneficial, seeing as it was quite a shock discovering how popular it is still today. Also from this discussion so far, 2D animation still seems to be widely popular on TV, whilst 3D seems to be popular in the film industry.